math friends, it's Mrs. Beals and we're back in the world of fractions. We're going to talk about fractions that equal one whole. So I've got my fraction circles out. This represents 1, the number 1, one whole. We've dealt with 1 our whole lives. We counted 0 first and then we count 1. So that's 1 whole. But we know that there's lots of numbers that can fall between 0 and 1 whole, and those are called fractions. Look at all these fractions. So let's talk about what we do when we see a fraction that looks like this. 4/4, 5/5, 100, 100ths. Let's actually build it, and that'll make a little bit of sense for our conversation we're going to have. So let's make 4/4. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4. Okay, so I've made the fraction 4/4. There's 4 pieces in my whole, and I have 4 of them. What do you notice about 4/4 and my 1 whole? They're exactly the same size. I could actually lay it on top. Whenever you have a fraction with the same numerator and denominator, it's equal to 1 whole. Okay? This is a little chant that I say that we'll say in class to help you remember. Top and bottom are the same. That's 1 whole. This ain't no game. Top and bottom are the same. That's 1 whole. This ain't no game. Let's try it now with 5/5. So we just did 4/4 and we realized it's the same as our 1 whole piece. If we do 5/5, what do you all think it's going to look like? I bet you're right. I bet it's going to look like the 1 whole. Let's make sure. Ooh, ooh, I just threw one of my fifths on the ground. Oh no! Let's see if it's in this chair. No. No. All right, you'll have to use your imagination because I dropped one. So if we had 5/5, right now we only have 4, you'll notice it's exactly the same as this 1 whole. So when the top and bottom are the same, that's 1 whole. It ain't no game. All right, 100th, 100. 100 100ths. Now, when top and bottom are the same, that's 1 whole. This ain't no game. I don't have 100ths to show you, but we know that when the numerator and denominator are the same, it's equal to 1. So I can say 100 100ths is equal to 1, 5/5 is equal to 1, and 4/4 is equal to 1. Okay, all of those are equal to 1 whole. If I put them on a number line, and I had 0 and 1 on my number line, and I wanted to put 5/5 on it, 5/5 would go exactly at the same spot 1 whole is, because they're the same number. 100 100ths will go right here with 1 whole. They would all be in the exact same spot, because anytime the numerator and denominator are the same, it's equal to 1 whole. Okay? All right, so I'm going to erase, if you'll just be patient with me, because I want to show you something about fractions when it's not 1 whole, when it's more than 1 whole. I want to show you what it looks like and what it means. Erase, erase, erase. I hope I find that 5th piece later. Erase. Okay. So let's say we see a fraction like this. It's really odd because the denominator, the bottom number, is how many pieces in a whole? Well, it's 1, so I have 1 piece in a whole. What does 1 piece in a whole look like? This is 1 piece, right? So whenever you see a denominator of 1, that means 1 piece in the whole, it looks like this, okay? So how many of these do I get? Well, I get 5 of them, so I've got 1 of them. There's 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 1 whole pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 1 whole pieces is equal to the number 5. Okay? So the way that I remember this is if the bottom number is just a 1, just use the top number, son. The bottom number is a 1. Just use the top number, son. That'll help you remember. So if you have a denominator of 1, that means you use 1 whole pieces, and the numerator tells you how many you get. So 5 over 1 equals 5. All right, let me erase and let's try another one. The humming is free. I won't even charge you guys for that. Okay, what if we have 8 over 1? The denominator is the size of my pieces. Of all these pieces, what size am I going to use? I'm going to use the 1. Exactly. How many of those do I get? I get 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All these are 1 whole pieces because my denominator was 1. So 8 over 1 equals 8. Remember, if the bottom number is a 1, just use the top number, son. So 8 over 1 is equal to 8 wholes. Okay, the whole number 8, the 8 that we're always used to counting with. All right, so let's kind of mix what we've just learned together so we can kind of compare what the fraction picture would look like, what the model of it would look like. So let's do 6 over 1 and compare it to 6 over 6. Okay? Let's start with 6 over 1. Remember, our little chant goes, the bottom number is a 1. Just use the top number, son. If I just use the top number, I get 6. How would I draw that out? Well, I get 1 whole pieces, so my pieces look like this, 1 whole, but I get 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 1 whole pieces, which is just the number 6. Okay? Remember, the bottom number is a 1. Just use the top number, son. So look at 6 over 6 now. Okay? My denominator is 6. That means my pieces are 6th pieces. Now, 6 pieces are a lot smaller than that 1 whole over there. This is the size pieces I get. I get 6 pieces and I get 6 of them. So if I draw it out, let's see, how do I draw 6 really well? Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got my 6 pieces for my denominator. Now I get 6 of them. Okay, so I have 6, 6. And look, the whole thing is colored in. That is the same as 1 whole equals 1. Okay, remember our chant goes, top and bottom are the same. That's 1 whole. This ain't no game. Top and bottom are the same. That's 1 whole. This ain't no game. The bottom number is just a 1. Just use the top number, son. All right, guys, you all did a great job. When you come into math, we're going to be practicing our whole numbers, like 6 over 6 is 1, 7 over 7 is 1, 8 over 8 is 1, and our numbers that are many wholes. 6 over 1 is 6, 8 over 1 would be 8, 9 over 1 would be 9. I'm so proud of you guys. Great job.